just made a sibling tag, so now I'm gonna be doing the controversial parenting tag, and he's just gonna be chilling here.
So I don't have to be in the one.
Yeah, you don't have to be in it. So the first one is pro-life versus pro-choice. Stop.
Ow.
And ow, stop. So I am pro-life, but I don't have anything against people who are pro-choice because I'm not here to judge anyone. But I feel like if you make a baby, that you should take responsibility and raise the baby, depending on certain circumstances. Adoption would be what I would go for, which I think is another one on here, but I'll just kind of add it in with this one. So I think if you have a baby, you should either keep the baby or give it up for adoption. But that's just my opinion, so I don't want anyone to bash me for it. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. So I was adopted, so I don't have any problem with adoption, and I think that if that's the route you want to go, then you should. I mean, I think that you shouldn't just give your baby up for adoption just because you want to continue living your life, for you. But yeah, I'm pro-life. The next one is baby wearing, and I don't have anything against it, but I don't really do it. I don't really wear Landon or Gabriel. I only did maybe a couple times, but that was just because I had one of them baby Bjorn things. You know what I'm talking about? Those baby Bjorn things. And I just had it because someone gave it to me, so yeah, but I don't really have anything against it, but I mean, I think it is weird the older they get for you to wear your baby. So the next one is a very controversial one, so I don't know how much I'm going to get into it, but it is circumcision. And I don't really want to speak too much on it because I have 2 boys, of course, and I don't want people to know what I did or did not do, so I'm just going to say, do what you think is best. It's your own decision to make. I mean, I am okay with either, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. I don't know, I've never put oatmeal on my face.
Ugh.
Ew. So the next one is baby piercing. Ooh, that was really loud. And again, it's not something that I have against. I think girls who are babies, I think it's okay if they get their ears pierced. I got my ears pierced as a baby. But then they closed up, so then I got them redone when I was a little bit older, but I don't have anything against it, I mean, I don't think you should be piercing your babies. No one cares. I don't think you should be piercing your babies, other places like, you shouldn't be getting double holes or like, or boys. I really don't think boys should get their ears pierced, but again, that's your decision. I don't really have a problem with ear piercings for babies, girls. So the next one is formula versus breastfed. I thought I heard Gabriel. Anyways, so breast milk or formula, and I formula fed Landon and I breastfeed Gabriel, so obviously I'm okay with either. I think as long as the baby is getting fed, then that's okay. So I mean, I do feel like women should try to breastfeed if they can, but it's not the end of the world if they can't, or choose to go formula route, because either or, your baby's getting nutrition, and that's all that matters, right, Jordan? So the next one is spanking, and I was spanked when I was younger, right, Jordan? We were spanked. I don't spank Landon. I feel like he's too little. I feel like Landon is too young to be spanked at this age. He's not even 2 years old, but I don't really have a problem with spanking as long as your intention is to discipline them, not hurt them, punish them. As long as you're not leaving bruises or marks, or hitting them really hard, I feel like a good little pop is, okay. So the next one is co-sleeping, and I co-sleep with both my boys. I've co-slept with both of them when they were newborns. Landon is almost 2 and Gabriel's almost 9 months. So I've been co-sleeping for a long time. I am not like married or anything, so I don't have anyone else to share the bed with. I feel like if I was married, I probably wouldn't like it so much because then that would be really cramped. But since it's just the 3 of us in a queen size bed, I enjoy co-sleeping with them. I've never worried about, hurting them or anything. But if you don't feel comfortable with yourself sleeping with them, then I would suggest that you don't. It's just my personal opinion. Ew. But anyways, I feel like, that's your own decision to make. You need to make the call on whether or not it's safe for you to co-sleep with your kids or not. But I like co-sleeping. I feel like it's created a bond. It's just easier. I feel like Landon does sleep in his bed sometimes, but in the middle of the night he'll wake up and come in my room. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure at some point, yeah, I'm gonna have to try and wean him off of that, and that's gonna be hard, but I'm not really concerned about it right now. So the next one is home versus public versus private versus charter school. And I probably will put my kids in public schools. That's what I was in. But I really feel like the education is fine in public schools, at least in the areas that I've lived in. If I was living in a really bad area, maybe I would look into like private schooling, but I'm fine. I turned out fine, and I had public schooling. Plus I just feel like, I feel like homeschooling I want them to have the interaction with other kids growing up. So, I don't really want them to be homeschooled unless it was necessary. As well as private. I feel like it's just extra money that I don't really feel like is necessary. So they'll probably be in public schooling. No, I don't have anything against all the other ones, but. Next one is vaccinations. And I feel like you should vaccinate your child. I just feel like it's a lot safer. Medicine has come a long way since, before, and there's a reason why a lot of these vaccinations were created, so that it could help prevent stuff that they couldn't prevent back then. So I feel like, you're kind of putting your kid and other kids at risk by not getting them vaccinated. There's so many stories out there, and I know there is some people who are allergic to some medicines from the vaccinations, but it's more like, I feel like it's more fatal for someone who hasn't gotten vaccinated to be around other kids who have been, and I feel like you should definitely vaccinate your kids. So I get my kids vaccinated. Mm-hmm. Next one is medicating children, and I'm not sure exactly what this means. That means like giving them like, baby Tylenol or baby medicine, like, for fever or pain or something. And I'm okay with that, as long as you're following the instructions on the, container, making sure it's specifically for babies or like their age range. I give them, medicine if they have a fever, if they're in pain from teething or stuff like that, for their shots. So I don't have a problem with it. Obviously don't be overdosing your kid, but, I'm okay with it. The next one is cloth versus disposable diapers. And I don't have anything against cloth diapers, but I do disposable doo-doo. That's so immature. But I use disposable diapers. I always have. But I do have a family member that does use cloth diapers. And Cassie does. Are you kidding me? Anyways. So, cloth diapers, I feel like if I had the motivation, I would do it. But since I don't, and, it's just easier to buy disposable diapers, throw them away, and I've never had a problem with them. I'm sure, like, if the boys were allergic to a lot of the brands or something, I would also go the cloth route. But I don't have anything against either, do what's the best for you and your child and what's convenient for you guys. So the last one is cry it out method. And I feel like I've let my kid cry a little bit, like when I'm trying to get them to sleep. But I've never really like used it as like a method, for, actually like, I'm just saying, like, I just like if they're, tired and I know I'll lay them in there and they'll cry for a little bit, but I don't leave them in there very long. I think they're only in there for like a couple, like maybe like a minute or two, and they keep crying. Then I'm like, all right then. So then I take them, and I've never really used it, to be honest. Like, I've never thought in my head, like, intentionally, like, oh, I'm gonna do the cry it out. But I have never like actually, intentionally been like, I want to use the cry it out method, I'm gonna do that. But there has been times, of course, where they were in their crib or something where I'm just trying to get them to sleep and they were crying a little bit, but I got them and found another way to put them to sleep. So I mean, I don't really think that, I don't really know. I haven't really looked too much into research about the cry it out method, so I can't really have too much say about it. So, so that's all that I have for that.
Boring.
So, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Follow me on my social media. I'll put that in the description box below. And I will see you in my next video.